Tesla has just officially launched the refresh Model 3 in the US. The base model has the same range, but the long-range model has 8 more miles. Tesla updated the video on the Model 3 homepage, and I think this one looks really cool. Look at this shot right here. Ooh, that's cool. The long-range Model 3 has 17 speakers, but the long-range Model Y has 13. The rear-wheel drive one has 9 speakers and only 1 amplifier instead of 2. So in theory, the more expensive one should have better sound, but I'm wondering how much of a difference can people really hear. I will probably go and try myself. The new refresh Model 3 is not eligible for the $7,500 rebate that's available for vehicles in the US with USA-made batteries. And just like in Europe and in China, there's no performance version yet. Deliveries of the refresh Model 3 will begin by the end of the month, and despite all of the upgrades, the prices are the same. And James says, I gotta say that this transition from old Model 3 to new Model 3 was infinitely better managed than the Model S and X transition, at least so far in Europe and in China, but we will see what happens in North America. So it might be a bit early to say that the execution is very good here by the Tesla team. Hopefully no impact on Q1 Model 3 Fremont production from the change. Does not appear to be from the wait times. I think most likely James is going to be right about this one and the transition is going to be smooth, but we just don't know for sure yet. However, I am pretty sure that Tesla lost some sales because some people just were waiting for the refresh Model 3 in the US and did not buy a Tesla vehicle because of that. But if the transition between the old model and the new model ends up being as smooth as it was in China and Europe, then I think it's alright. It's actually pretty good. I would rather have a smooth transition, but a delayed one in the US than an announcement that you can get a Model 3, a refreshed one, anywhere in the world, but then you have problems with production. Sawyer just did a poll. If you live in North America, did you just order the new Model 3? And 11% so far, which would be over 1,000 people, said yes. It's a pretty big number. I generally expected this. The Model 3 is no longer part of Tesla's referral program in North America. Once you see it back in the referral program, you know that the sales slowed down a little bit. The refreshed Model 3 also just launched in another new market. So pretty much anyone in the world, if they want a refreshed Model 3, they will soon be able to get one. Tesla right now, though, is facing a massive conundrum. One can still buy a Model Y rear-wheel drive for less than a Model 3 after the $7,500 rebate. Before the rebate, Model Y cost $44,000. So after the rebate, $36,500, but the refreshed Model 3 rear-wheel drive is $39,000. However, it looks like there's a loophole that allows any Model 3 buyer to make use of the $7,500 rebate as long as they lease it. Tesla gets the tax credit and applies the discount to lease payments. If you go to Tesla's website and you click on the lease button, and if you read these terms here, it says that it includes the $7,500 EV lease incentive distributed across lease term. However, you generally want to lease a vehicle if the vehicle that you are buying breaks down a lot or just is not a good vehicle after it gets a little older, like a Mercedes or a BMW. Or you do it because the lease payments are so cheap, and then at the end of your lease you can buy the vehicle anyway, but that's not the case with the Tesla Model 3. If you lease a Tesla Model 3, you forego the option to buy your car at the end of your lease and must return it to Tesla after the lease term. The reason why Tesla does not let you buy their vehicle at the end of the lease term is because Tesla wants to take the cars back to increase its robotaxi fleet. James says, yeah, but I think it is a silly reason. They could always just build more cars in the future for that. Another way to think about it is if you let people buy their leased vehicles at the end of the lease term, then right now you would have more demand, which would then force you to increase your production capacity a little bit faster, which means you're producing more cars. So when robotaxis do come, your production capacity in theory should be a little bit higher. Tesla would be competing with more privately owned robotaxis in that case, but it would be able to build up its robotaxi fleet at a decent pace, I think. We did not hear Elon say that FSD is coming this year, actual FSD. So between now and when FSD would be solved, there's probably enough time for robotaxis, dedicated robotaxis, to be produced.